This is where I love to butt in.
Guess you can't lose it, I can never find.
I also think that great advice gets lost if it's the wrong time.
Dialogue over drama?
Hey kids, welcome to Dialogue Over Drama, episode 78. We are a Canadian age gap couple that loves to focus on communication and just honest dialogue. I am Danny Dialogue.
And I'm Courtney Drama. And today,
yeah, we have a little fun thing about depression and kind of on communication and expressing depression. And
me not understanding where the hell you're coming at.
Yeah, because you're just full of sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, apparently.
Yeah, I'm never depressed.
Never.
Nope.
But you wanted to do something about AI.
Well, has nothing to do with AI. It's just I use AI. I was talking, because you can't Google shit nowadays without Gemini popping up as a thing.
It's annoying.
But I was really just looking up, I was just out of curiosity, like what are trending couple relationship topics right now? You know, what are things that people are diving into? Is there anything that's like trendy and whatever? And what was interesting is there is this, I don't even know what to call it, this thing called love maps.
Yep.
And I guess it came from this therapist, John Gottman.
Yeah.
And, he has different things on 7 principles for making a marriage work and this and that and whatever. And he was talking about like building love maps as part of like couples creating like shared meaning. And it's called the Sound Relationship House, I guess.
All right.
Anyways, one of the pillars was building love maps. And I was really interested about it because I was like, well, what is a love map? And you're supposed to actually have a map to start out with, and then you can update that map as years go on. And I'm sure you are all about my love map, and I'm probably going to disappoint you very much with how little I know about your inner world. But having a richly detailed love map, the term for that, the part of your brain where you store all the personally important information about your partner's life. So these couples made plenty of cognitive room in their minds for their relationship. They remember major events in each other's histories. They keep updating their information as facts and feelings of their spouse's world change. All of that. Anyways, but how to build a love map is you have to try to answer the following questions, and you can't just really have yes or no answers. You have to have like things, right?
Sure.
So in this love map exercise, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
And then I'm going to also try to answer them as well to see how much we know about this.
Go.
What is your partner's favorite musical group, composer, or instrument?
Depends on the day.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say your favorite musical group is probably U2.
It's Counting Crows and always has been. Always will be. Has never changed.
An instrument will be guitar.
Okay. My favorite instrument to play?
Yeah.
My favorite instrument to play is drums. Always has been.
Okay. Well, what was your partner wearing when you first met?
You were dressed as Beetlejuice.
Okay. And you were dressed as Skipper. What are your partner's hobbies?
It's quicker to name the hobbies you don't
have. That's fair. And yours is music.
Yeah. And?
Jerking off.
Yeah.
Where was your partner born?
You were born in Hamilton.
And you were Toronto.
Yes.
What stresses are facing your partner in the immediate future?
In the immediate future, work stuff. I can't get, exactly, like I want to say finding out where puzzle pieces lay.
Yeah. I would say yours is also kind of work, but also your future music endeavors.
Yes.
Good stress.
But that's not stress.
No,
Yeah,
but good stress. Good stress. Describe in detail your partner's day, either today or yesterday.
So you get up, you go outside, you end up doing a little bit of gardening. You say, okay, you tell yourself things that you need to make sure to do this week. So like the list of things, that's what you do in the morning. Is you kind of set out, okay, I need to get this done this week. I need to get this done this week. I need to do this. And then you do your best to calm yourself down and to eliminate any stress you have before going. And you love being that. Okay, I've done this, I've gotten my lunches made, I have a healthy lunch, I have a breakfast that I'm doing, and you almost do so much in the morning to make yourself feel like you're ready and set up for the day. You left for work and you worked and then came home, and now here we are. But that's pretty much your day.
Margarine. She's going to keep doing it until I move it.
Yeah, I put it on top of the...
No. We're not playing this game. You keep doing this shit. I gotta put it away, like in the cupboard. I'll do that after. Okay, well, yours, if it's, depends on the day as well. Like, if it's a work day for you.
What do you think I did today?
Today, I think you, when I left for work, you probably laid in bed for a little bit longer, whether you fell back asleep or not, because sometimes that happens. And then you got up and you went for a smoke, and then you sat on the couch, and then you scrolled your phone for a bit. And then you were like, okay, I should probably get the episode edited. So then I think you pulled out your laptop and did that for a bit. And then maybe started like collecting like garbage and like dishes and stuff around the apartment. Get a sink full of hot water going. Get all that organized. And then depending on the time, made yourself something to eat. Came back, continued editing, or threw in a load of laundry and then edited in between laundry. Yeah, I think you bounced around between a lot of chores. I don't think there was like one task that you just like did and completed. I think you tend to break it up of like, you do like time blocks.
Oh, I did 8 loads of laundry today. So in between each load of laundry is 40 minutes.
So you were like editing,
I was
or
editing,
you were cleaning.
I was cleaning. Yeah. I was doing the bathroom. I was sorting laundry.
Nice. Yeah. No, I feel like when it comes to like you having a day off and cleaning and stuff, you're very like regimented in that.
Yeah.
But you are a very routine person for the most part. Oh my gosh. See, then this love map gets into things that we already know, like partner's birthday, what's our anniversary?
No, yeah.
You know, who's your favorite relative? Oh, okay, this one's interesting. What is one of your partner's worst fears in life? That's not just one of.
One of?
Yeah.
I would say having people realize that you're not as cool as you've presented yourself as.
You think that's my fear?
Yep.
But I am cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I always think I'm cool.
I know.
Anyways, I think one of your fears is losing your fingers.
Sure. I would love to see someone that'd be like, yeah, not a big deal.
Well, I just think because of like, I don't know, I just feel like somebody else wouldn't really think of that. But for you, because of like you playing music, I think you'd be like, wow, what purpose do I have if I can't play guitar?
Right.
So, anyways, what is your partner's fondest dream as yet unachieved?
Oh, God, I never listened. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Having a kid. Apparently.
It is. Your fondest dream that's been yet achieved? I would say for you, it's probably having an album.
I've released albums.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what one of your dreams.
I don't have any dreams. I just like I don't like I like because my dream isn't like because a dream seems so like you know me if you're like hey want to hear about my dream last night my instant response is no
I'm not about sleeping dreams but like your dream.
Sure, but like dreams to me are like something that people have that they believe because dreams are fake that's something they can't accomplish.
Okay.
So like I don't really have dreams. I'm like if I want to do something I'm gonna do it, and then if I realize I can't do it I'm not gonna get buckled down in the fact I can't do it. I'm just gonna do it or not do it and then realize I can't do it.
Right. Okay, well there's like 60 or 70 of these questions that we're not going to go through.
Awesome.
The idea of the love map, though, is definitely there's questions here that you ask your partner. And one of the trends that I'm seeing, that like what I was researching, was that like when you're getting into these new relationships, especially because I guess the new trend is deliberate pacing. So they called it slow dating or love maps.
I don't mean to be cutting you off in any way, but your prompt was new trends. And I think right now...
Not new trends, because this love map thing isn't new. Yeah,
I know, but it's current trends that people are focusing on.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest reasons is relationships now are so fucked that people don't know how to concentrate. So like what you just read off, and you read this whole thing about mapping and how important it is. You know what that used to be called? Going on dates and getting to know someone. That's all it is. And it's like getting to know someone other than like wanting them to know you. It's so like... We're breaking it down to such a fucking childish level now in what needs to be done of like, hey, care about your partner.
Well, and you have to think...
And learn about your partner. It is fucking insane.
No, I agree with you, but you have to think the generation that we have right now where everything is all digital, this whole trend of deliberate pacing or slow dating or love maps is because after years of digital app fatigue, the focus has now shifted toward hyper intentionality. So micro connections over grand gestures. So instead of focusing on massive romantic surprises or, now they're trending discussions on everyday emotional whatever. So they're talking about, I guess some of the social content revolves around the bird test, which is acknowledging your partner's small random bids for attention, or building deep love maps, truly knowing your partner's internal world stressors and quirks and all their need to knows. So it's like, yeah, I guess getting away from the digital app or feeling like there's all this just stupid online talk and whatever. It's like they're having these micro connections, which is asking apparently these 70 questions.
That's so fucking...
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's interesting. So
now that I'm depressed, let's get into talking about depression.
All right.
All right, let's change the channel.
Well, I think I just lost my mind, and I guess you can't lose it. I can never find.
So I texted you today. We're discussing episodes, topics, and things like that we could do over the next few episodes, because as we prepare for our cottage trip and going away, it's just easy to have a couple in the bank here. And one of the things that you had mentioned that I brought up was that you were going through a bit of a spout of like a depression.
Yeah.
And then when things, you kind of said basically like, just because things are getting better doesn't mean that I'm like, fixed or like out of your depression. Like you're getting out of it.
Right.
But I think what I've been thinking about since you said that was kind of how that sometimes I'll act like, because you don't bring it up constantly that you're in a depression, or sometimes you start to hide some of the signs that you're in a depression, that I tend to just act like everything is normal, which tends to be me treating you like a punching bag, or I vent extra, or I'm just maybe less sensitive to the whole situation. And I guess this is kind of like a check-in on where you're at, because I think for me, sometimes unless you vocalize it, and again, you hide a lot of those signs of depression, it's hard to know when you're going in and out of them, because sometimes it feels like you're always depressed because of like how hard you have to work to remind yourself that things are good and check in with yourself. And then there's times where I genuinely think that you're happy and everything's going fine, and then you hit me with the, I've been in a depression for a few months, and I'm like, you have been?
Right.
So I don't know. I guess, how do you know? Okay, first of all, are you always depressed, or do you know when you're going into one?
So I'm not always depressed. I get frustrated, and just my whole life I've obviously struggled with, like, it's a chemical thing where I just get depressed and I go down a hole, and it's just a chemical imbalance for me that I just get really depressed. I get really overworked, and sometimes I just can't handle what's going on in life. So for the whole checking in thing, like, honestly, I hate to have a third episode based around it, but it comes down to like that values thing, where when we were talking about the values and you were trying, like I was trying to explain to you that you had these different things that you were doing, where the question I believe you're asking me right now is like, so how do I do this? Like, are you just always depressed? So do I have to constantly act like you're being depressed? So that's the way I need to be in that way. And you're like, because when Dan's not depressed, I just go back to letting him be my punching bag and like doing all of this constantly, right?
I get a little bit more grace from you when you're in a better mood.
Sure, absolutely. Because of my values, that I don't allow the way I'm feeling to change the way I treat you, right? Mm-hmm. So with you, by this is where it's funny that it's a great example of where you're like, well, if this action's being done, these are the steps I need to do, because if Dan's depressed, I need to not treat him like that. Why can't it be my value is I want to be there for my partner and honest and empathetic to my partner, so it shouldn't matter if I'm depressed or not. You shouldn't be just blatantly be like, oh, Dan's mentally okay, I can beat him up.
Right. I get that side of it. Like, I sometimes take...
Like, that's the important thing.
No, it is. Like, and sometimes I take a lot of stuff out on you, and it's obviously, I should work towards not doing that. I think the other side of it is also just when I want to talk about things, or I don't know, I feel like sometimes depending on your mindset, I have to approach topics differently.
Well, the approach things... Like, even like you saying that I need to approach things differently. Like, there's a kind way to approach everything, which is the best way to do it, being open-ended. If you're asking a question, don't have it be you're looking for an answer. Mm-hmm. Have everything you're doing with respect for the person that's beside you.
Right.
So, like, you're saying sometimes I need to bend the way that I am. So what, you have to treat me nice only if I'm feeling bad?
I just feel like I come off really aggressive and just like, I come off really strong naturally all the time. And sometimes I don't let the filter pass through like over top just to be like, okay, wait a second. Like, and it's not just you, it's with everybody. Like, I'm just an intense person. So I feel like I don't know. It's like I'm trying to say like, yeah, I guess I should just change myself then, because then I'll just be better suited for you. Like, I'm just, sometimes I come at things really hot, unfiltered.
Well, I can give you a great example. So, like, I never want you to change the way you are unless you're changing for yourself. So, like, me being depressed is just something I've learned to deal with. I know what to do to get myself out of it. I know how to think, like, forward, being positive. Like, they're all tools and values that I've installed that, even though, yes, I am very depressed and I'm just fucking borderline holding it together, I know I still have my core roots and values that I know that if I just stick to these, like, everything that just happened over the last few months, I kept saying, this is who I'm like, these are my values in this situation. I kept repeating what my values were in this situation, and I just stuck to them, like, to a fault. And you're like, why the fuck aren't you losing your mind? Why aren't you handling this situation different? I'm like, because I'm sticking it to the way that it is. And you've just seen me stay the same, and everyone has to fall in line. If my values were incorrect, you would see everything around me falling apart.
Right.
So that's just, like, a depression isn't something that it's just like, okay, it's from this time to this time for me. There are times where most of the time you're hearing about me being depressed is because I'm super worried that you're going to interpret my actions, my mannerisms, my movements as something against you.
Right.
So that becomes an added stress level to me because I don't want any of my depression being taken on you.
Right. I see what you're saying. To me, it comes across, though, like, even if I always acted a certain way and was this and was that and just sensitive and whatever, I just, sometimes I feel like it's, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think when you're in, like, the height of your depression, again, I don't know how to give, like, an example, but it seems very...
You want to be the hero and you want to be the influencer that tells me the thing that gets me out of my depression.
Yeah, it's like, well, because I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to say the right things to make it better. And it is just you going through the motions. And I know there's no timeline on when it's going to end.
Right.
But you yourself changes as a person when you're going through it. And so to me, there's a huge difference with when you're hiding the fact that you're depressed because you, again, don't want to put your emotions and be a burden to me or treat me different or whatever, but you'll hide them, and then I kind of get blindsided when you get to the point where I'm just going about life, asking things of you and doing this, and then you're like, I've been in a huge depression for months. I'm like, you have been? Like, I never noticed. Or there's times where you don't hide it and you are very open about it, and that these are the ways that you're kind of feeling, and it makes me feel like our world goes on pause until you come out of it. And I think it depends on how extreme it is.
But even in your answer that you just gave, can you understand why I don't talk to you about being depressed? Because you just said yourself, if I say I'm depressed, in your brain, time stops until you get the person that can cater to you back.
Not even cater, because that's the other thing, is just because you're depressed, it's not like you don't do anything.
No, but I'm not doing as much, or I'm not as...
But it's not even that. And when I say time stops, I just mean, like, nothing I have going on in my world matters right now, because there is a part of me that just wants to make sure that you're okay. Because, like, there's been times in our relationship
if that's the way that you truly felt, like, and I'm sure you feel that way, but it comes down to... like one of the goal things where, like, the values versus goal things, where you're like, oh, Dan's depressed, I'm going to do what I can to make him good. Oh man, this is already going on for 3 days now. And then it becomes a job in your brain. And then you get frustrated that nothing you're doing is working and that you can't control the situation, which turns into you being very frustrated with me now.
Yeah.
Because you can't fix the problem.
Right. Well, and then that's the other thing too, is like, I just feel like your depressive episodes, they come and go, and either they, like, if things are really good, like, okay, I guess my question to you is, do you find that, like, what begins the chemical imbalance for you to start feeling that is typically through negative thoughts, or is it like actual life things that happen, and then as they build, you know it's happening?
It is just, I wake up in the morning wanting to have a great day, and everything I do is just,
anything that can go wrong does go wrong kind of vibe?
It may not even be going wrong, but it just feels bad. Every text I get is like, this is going to be bad news. Every note I get,
so it
I
all
read
starts
is
mental.
yeah, it's all mental. It's just a chemical imbalance. That's why I've said for years that every day I wake up and like I go outside or I lay in bed and I'm like, how is my brain? Am I thinking in a positive way or in a negative way? And then I base all my feelings based on, okay, I may not feel great, but my brain's telling me I feel terrible. So I need to regulate based on how I feel what's reality.
Right. Yeah.
So my brain constantly has to, that's why like I have such, like that's why I keep going on about the values things, because if I didn't have my values in line of knowing I want to be a good, patient person with someone, I wake up in the morning and every chemical in my brain is like, this is fucking annoying. Everything is fucking annoying right now. I know that that's not truly the way I think, because I know that I'm a patient person.
Right.
So it just may take a little bit more extra work that day to be a patient person, but I know that's my core value and I need to stick to that value.
Right. Yeah. So I guess like the whole, like when you're going through a depression and feeling like time stops is definitely a me issue, because if you go through them unexpectedly and more often than not, let's say in a year,
Right.
you know, more times than the previous year or whatever, like then it's like I need to find ways to still be there for you, but still just keep moving on with life, knowing that you're old, like, because you've also chosen to be, again, you've gone through the whole antidepressant medication state, therapy, all that kind of stuff as well. So you choosing to be unmedicated and have the tools that you have to apply it, you know you're going to get through it. It's just a process.
Right.
So I think that's a me issue of always feeling like time has to stop because it's just a process you're going through.
I can give you a great extreme example, but I just want you to hear me out in this. So because of the way your brain works and the way my brain works is when something happens that's like catastrophic or it's just out of nowhere, and it's like, it could be something big, it could be small, but it's just a catastrophic thing that needs to be dealt with. It could take 10 seconds or it could be a week. My main thought is, okay, catastrophic thing happens. Deal with catastrophic thing. Don't think about it. Just, you know your core values. You need to do this. This is what needs to happen. And when it comes to us, when those things happen, your instant reaction when catastrophic, like anything happens, is you look at me to make every decision that needs to be made, while equally looking at me getting angry because life isn't the way you think it should be at that moment. So my example is, you were going outside to water plants and I was editing or playing video games or something, and the cat was by her food dish and started gagging and choking. So I looked over and I said, holy shit, she's choking. And you said, no, it's just a hairball. And I'm like, she's right by her food. It's probably choking. And then you started yelling at me saying, why do you always think it's choking? And you got really, really angry at me when I'm just like, the cat's choking. I'm going to get up and go. I have no clue why you would be angry in that situation, other than you're just like, my perfect world's being annoyed right now. I need you to solve this problem.
Well, like I said, you assumed that I was coming back inside when I was going outside. And then
You're missing the point of what I'm saying right now.
I do.
Talk to what I'm saying the extreme example. I'm just giving you that example. I don't care about the ins and outs. I'm just saying your anger towards me for pointing out something that could possibly be catastrophic, something that's really inconvenient in that moment, and something that's like a necessary catastrophic issue to deal with.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You just get very angry at me during those things because you want full control. You want me to take control, and your life's in chaos. So you go right at me.
No, you are right. That is interesting you said that, because that's just a recent example. But there's times where I can recall like anything that is an inconvenience or catastrophic that happens, or like just something big, typically, is I like freak out of like anger and frustration that it's even happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
and you want me to solve the problem. I start solving the problems, and you get really upset that I'm not solving them the way you would have, because you've had time to now reflect, look at what I did to decide the problem, and in 2020 hindsight, get really upset that you would have solved it better.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, it's like that armchair fucking coach, right?
But
like you're just sitting on a chair, and you're like, I would have done this in the game.
Oh.
That kind of like.
Right.
So, like, when it comes to, like, the depression thing, like you were asking earlier, I'm never looking to you to solve my problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never, like, when I'm depressed, it shouldn't affect you because I'm doing my best for it not to affect you.
Right.
And a lot of, I think, what ends up happening is when, like, I'm fine. Like, there's no advice you're really going to give me about dealing with depression.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, we look at things very differently. I know that I personally am a good person. I know who I am, and I don't give a fuck who thinks anything about me when it comes otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need validation for any decision I make.
Mm-hmm.
You fully need multiple validations for every decision you've made.
Right.
So, like, if I'm depressed, I'm like, okay, I'm depressed. I'm going to get over it. It's going to be fine. I don't need that. It's going to be okay, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what you want to do, and have me go, oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. Like, that's the reaction you really want from me.
Yeah. I think it's just hard to understand because, like, I don't really get depressed or sad. Like, I do occasionally, but think on short spurts. Like, there's nothing really that happens in my life where I'm, like, depressed for long periods of time. And I think because it happens for you, I am always looking for that update to be like, okay, you're okay now. Like, it's hard for it to be a visual of when you're in it and when you're out of it, unless you say you're in it and out of it. So the other day, for you to talk about all the stress that you had going on in your life, and that putting you into a depression and a negative mindset, and feeling like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and then all of a sudden this past month so far, that said problem has seemed to have gone away. In my head, I'm like, well, then you should be fine because the problem has been removed. And then you go and make a comment like, you're not, you're slowly coming out of it, but you're not out of it yet. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, thanks for the update. But
I've repetitively said when things started getting good, I'm like, I don't trust that things are going good yet. I'm like, they've been good for the last little while, but I still don't think the problem's been corrected.
Right.
I've just always said, I'm like, things are getting better, but I've like, even when I explain that to you, so you're saying it's just kind of out of the blue that I'm like, man, I'm depressed. Where I've been very honest with you about how I feel, that it's looking good. I'm like, everything seems to be getting a little bit better. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm just done with it. I'm just like, wow, things are a little bit easier now than they were.
Mm-hmm. But that's the part that was confusing to me when you said it. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because my brain just goes to, well, if things are getting better and looking upward, and like, why are you still quote unquote depressed? Like, what's still going on in your head that makes you feel, I don't know. And so I guess the other question then is, because you've made it very clear that you still have your core values. You still want to be this person that, is as patient as you can be, the best person you can be. So even when you're going through a depression, like, then if what you're outward projecting to somebody doesn't look like depression, then what the hell's going on internally?
Just the day-to-day struggle I've had since the day I was born.
Oh, do you think as you've gone through motions of depression throughout your life, like, what's the biggest thing that's changed between your adolescence and then now?
Me knowing how to act, me knowing to not give into what my brain tells me to do. Because
what was your depressive episodes like before antidepressants?
I've been chronically depressed since I've been
No, we've established 12. That. I'm asking you to just discuss your experiences between your childhood, pre-antidepressants. What was it like when you were on antidepressants?
So I probably woke up one morning when I was around 11, and I'm like, man, I feel really shitty. And I've been that way since I'm 45. There's no, like, episodes. There's no, like, I've never not been fighting depression in my life, ever. Mm. even like when I'm the happiest I could possibly be, my brain is 20 minutes from now, this could all be over. Mm-hmm. Like there's no guarantee in my life on anything. And I just live in that world.
Well, and that's obviously very combative with your like anxiety as well. So like, because the anxiety and depression go so hand in hand.
But that's exactly why I am the way I am. That's why I've like
probably
that's
easy to stay in that spiral then, where every time you start to feel good.
You say spiral, it's not a spiral. It's just a constant hum. And like I could easily choose to spiral, but I don't, because then that goes against the values that I constantly try to live by. Because I'm not someone that's looking for pity. I'm not someone that's looking for someone else to solve my problems. I'm living my own life because I'm the only one that gets to control my actions and my thoughts.
Right.
So if my brain's telling me you're depressed, I'm like, I don't think I am. And I argue with my brain.
Which is probably healthy.
It's what you're paying someone to tell you to do the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's just my only choice. Like I've never had people around me that actually helped me. Like they would do the best of their knowledge, but like no one can help me because no one can understand what's going on in my brain, just like no one can understand what's going on in your brain. I need to pick the best bits of advice and apply them, see if they work, and if they do, great. If they don't do those.
Right.
Like that's just the way my brain works. And so the opposite way to look at this is, you said earlier, you're like, oh, I hardly ever get depressed. But 5-6 days a week, you come home and you're like, I'm so bummed out and I'm so frustrated by this. And like, you have all these magical, like made up problems.
Yeah, they're frustrations.
Sure, but they depress you and you're like, oh, I don't even want to go to work because I'm going to be frustrated. And then you're like down in the dumps on it. You're like, you get really locked into big problems that haven't happened yet. And then you get really depressed because that might not happen.
But I think depression is long periods of time.
Sure,
I don't think you can be depressed in like an hour window.
Sure, but in your brain, the way you talk about it, is you're just constantly talking about all the things that you're like worried about.
I'm a negative Nelly.
Sure, absolutely, which translates to depression.
I disagree.
Just hear me out on this, okay? So, because I don't say anything, and therefore you can't give me advice if I'm not talking to you about it. If you give me so many things that are bugging you, I can only talk to some of them and just talk on a surface level because you're nonstop talking about the things that are worrying you. Mm-hmm. So that's the opposite spectrum of it. Some people need to blurt out every little problem that they have and like have someone else process it.
Yeah.
I don't do that because I don't trust anyone else processing it.
Right. You internally process
So you do the exact opposite on the spectrum of what I do.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say.
But I think, Mm-hmm.
Because if it's overall every day you have things that are worrying you and that you're going to the negative every day, even though if it's for like 2-3 hours and then you're fine, that's still every day being negative thinking, which is depression.
Maybe.
So you can't say like, I'm not depressed because you sit sometimes you're like, I just need to go for a cry. I need to do these kind of things. Like you can't like, I think depression is a scary word to you because you haven't thought, oh, I'm depressed. So I don't get depressed.
No, when I look up the symptoms of depression, I don't really feel those.
Right. Okay. I might be wrong. Like I'm not a therapist. I'm just saying.
I feel like I need assistance in emotionally regulating myself, which is where I say I need a good cry, or, you know, they always talk about the mental health walk, or I need fresh air, or whatever. Like I need to just blurt out a bunch of little things too. I need assistance in processing my emotions, because I think if I left them unprocessed, then I would fall into the depression of feeling in that dark little box and feel nothing and then do nothing. But when I look at, I mean, again, not trying to throw in some therapy talk here, but then there's the functional depression, I think they call it. Which, like, if anything, sure, maybe at times I fall into that category where it's basically like you still just function, you do things, but there is this, like, depression in the back. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like, I'm not there for you, or I don't know. I feel like I'm somehow responsible to get you through your episode.
Right. Where
because I want you to be the best you. And if I know it's something you struggle with all the time, and I know times are harder than others for you, and the times that are really hard, where you say like, yeah, but I do my best to make sure it doesn't impact you. And it's like, yeah, but it still does. I'm like, there's times where it's worse than others. I'm not saying all the time.
Right.
But there's times where it really does impact me, and then I am trying to do the best that I can to get you out of it, because I'm like, I want you to be happy. Okay, move on. Like, be positive. Let's it'll be fine.
Right.
And then like the things that I do that I think help don't help you. So it's hard to know where you're at in your depressive episode sometimes.
When it comes to like you saying like the things that I do don't help you, you're wrong in that, because I think that they don't help me in the way you thought they would help me. Mm-hmm. So like you just not being so aggressive, or if I actually stand up for myself at points, because that's normally when I'm really depressed, I just start standing up for myself.
Yeah, because you lose patience, and
that's not a bad thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when I'm just standing up for myself, that's where you want me to react in a way where what you say makes it, and then all of a sudden I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And I think you beat yourself up because you have an unrealistic like outcome of what you're doing to try to help.
Right.
So then you just think I've done nothing. Mm-hmm. So then you saying I obviously don't help you. Mm-hmm. There's tons of ways you can help someone, and I may not show that you've helped me. But like if you're being calm in your answer, or you're like allowing me to just be like, no, you need to shut up right now. Right. And like standing up for myself, and you take it without elevating it, mm-hmm. that's helpful.
Right.
So like there are things that you do that help. So I think you're beating yourself up over you not getting the expected result by.
Right. Well, that's fair. Thanks for letting me know.
You sound like you're all like bummed out right now, and.
No, I don't know.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't think I really understand. Again, you would disagree and say that I am depressed, or I've been depressed, or whatever. I don't think I really understand depression, which is so odd, because they say it goes so hand in hand with anxiety. But like, again, when I read about what depression is, and like what, not everyone, I know everyone's different, but like what most people experience, and it's just like the whole chemical imbalance of it, of what it does to the brain, is just like something that I just don't understand.
Right.
And like I have friends, and I have people that also, go through depressive episodes, and when they talk about knowing it's coming on kind of thing, like right. how they start to distance themselves, and they stop socializing as much, and then there's just like a pattern of things that they know that they're chemically, like it's happening. Right. And it's just something that's just very fascinating, because I don't typically, again, I don't feel those things, I don't see those things. And
I have a theory, which we'll talk about in the next episode, just on that thought, why I think that there's a lot of things that you should feel, you should be thinking, but you're like, I can't wrap my head around, oh, yeah, this makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. And I think it all ties into one thing, and it's a fun topic that just from you saying that reminded me of it. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, we'll go next episode. Okay. Yeah. Okay, goodbye. You've just listened to and finished Canada's own podcast Dialogue Over Drama. The amazing music we use in this episode is provided by Allegories with their song Pray, and Jesse James and the Medicine Show, I Think I Just Lost My Mind.
Nice!